Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my new old channel. I say my new old channel because I've had this channel for a minute. However, I'm rebranding it. I'm showing you my very messy soaping room because this is the room that I will be doing over. I've started the process. I haven't finished it. As you can see, it's a mess. And I'm reintroducing you to my new channel. It's my old channel, but it's my new channel. So this channel is going to be dedicated to personal growth. I was challenged as to think about what I wanted to do, or what topics I should say I wanted to focus on in this channel. And I came thanks to the sister's channel by the name of, gosh, what is her name? Alan Hamilton, I think it is. Alan Hamilton. I have to thank you to her, not to myself first, but to her second, because I was listening to her channel. A excuse me, I'm trying to find it so I could say her name properly. Oh, Arlen Hamilton. Yeah, I was listening to her channel, and it was through. Let me see if I can get this to stand up. It was through her channel that I was able to really kind of solidify what I wanted my new old channel to be about. And I am very moody person. One minute I want to talk about this, the next minute I want to talk about that, the next minute I want to talk about something else. So I was struggling. I was living that struggle life, guys. I'm like, what do I want this channel to be about? Because I don't want it to start off one way and then end up another way. And I was like, how can I incorporate all of, oh, this is not working. This is kind of pissing me off. How can I incorporate, oh, I'm crooked. Oh, did I do this wrong? All of who I am without, let's just close that, without, like, every time you turn around, I'm focusing on something else. When, if you're building a channel, you really want to keep some level of consistency with what that channel was going to be about, because, people are going to come to you for that topic. So I was like, current events. I wouldn't mind talking about current events. Then I was like, that's going to get boring. I'm not going to want to talk about current events all the time because I'm really not into politics like that. But sometimes some really interesting, I'm missing that. There we go. Sometimes some really interesting topics, I'm still crooked. Sometimes some really interesting topics, come up in the news and in just current events that I'm like, I could talk about that, and I can show the relevance that it has to me and how I can utilize that situation to help me in my life. So I was like, I don't know what I want to talk about, but whatever I want to talk about, I want it to be something that, one, I'm passionate about, and something that I can talk about today, tomorrow, next week, next year, and not get tired of it. So I was like, I was listening to her channel, and not her channel, just this one video. She said how to make, it was like 4 tips. I got to open up my computer again. It was, learn this skill and you'll never worry about money again. And not that I worry about money, because I don't worry about anything. I refuse. But I also am not struggling, but challenged with how to do something that I like and be able to utilize that thing to have it support me in my life. So it can support my living, my daily living. It can support the travels. It can support my lifestyle. And one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was to, as a secondary income, was to build a channel that not only I can use it as a channel for myself, but I can use it as a channel that can help people in their daily life at the same time. It needed to have purpose. It wasn't just going to be out there talking about gossip. wasn't going to be just talking about, the latest trend or the latest thing that's happening in the news, the Trump or the Diddy or the this trial or that trial or some crime. Or I wanted it if I was going to be talking about that, I wanted to talk about that, to just point out something within that situation that we can now think about and utilize to better ourselves, to better our daily living, to better our daily situation. So I was like, oh, when I saw that video, it just kind of, it's like the aha moment. It's like, oh, I can do that. I can talk about all the different things that I love and utilize each of those situations to figure out how I can utilize that situation to help me personally with my personal growth. Because this channel is all about what? Personal growth. Personal growth for myself, personal growth in my spiritual development, personal growth in my familial relationships, personal growth in my marriage, personal growth in my business, personal growth in my social situations, personal growth with every aspect of my life. So I can utilize all of these things that I want to talk about. So sometimes there might be an interview. Sometimes I may talk about Trump. I may talk about Trump and how everybody is utilizing all of these different fear tactics that they have in the news. And I may talk about that situation, how I'm going to utilize that specific situation that's happening in the world today, that current event, and how am I going to use that to better myself? How am I going to take advantage of that situation, or how am I not going to allow this situation to inhibit what I'm trying to accomplish in my life, or how can I use it to benefit what I'm trying to accomplish in my life? Because in any situation that you're going to be in, there's going to be that dichotomy of positive and negative, good and bad, as you want to say. I'm a Kebta initiate, not an active one, but I'm a Kebta initiate. And if you want to know more about what Kebta Initiates is about, what Kebta is all about, you can go to theearthcenter.org and you can read up all about it. But I'm a Kebta initiate. And as part of what we learn in that is that in every situation you find yourself in, there's this Haru set, as they say, that lives within every situation that you're in. There's the Haru aspect and the set aspect. And what is that? That's just these two opposing energetic forces that live inside of anything that has life. Because in order for life to exist, you're going to have that constructive energy and that destructive energy. And it's that balance. Somewhere in the mix of that, life exists. So somewhere in the mix of that, the life of situations and the life of things and the life of different specific situations exist. So in me trying to figure out what I want this channel to be about, I was like, oh, it's going to be about current events, and I'm going to bring all of who I am to this channel. Well, I am going to bring all of who I am to this channel, but it's not just current events, but it's how those current events are going to utilize. How am I going to utilize these current events to help me with my personal growth in all aspects of my life? So that's what this channel is going to be about. So I was excited. Thank you to Arlen Hamilton for that video, because that video turned a light bulb on for me. I'm like, everything in my life tends to be in like divine order. Every time I think, oh, I'm going down this avenue, I'm just going off track, I realize that, okay, ancestors are throwing me over there because I'm not making up my mind because I'm so moody. One minute I want this, next minute I want that, but that looks good over there. And what about that? That's not too bad. Look, lady, they be talking to me like, lady, make up your mind. You got to stick to something. You got to throw yourself in it. You got to hold on to it with two hands. You got to walk in it with your 2 feet, and you got to stay with it. So I learned that lesson recently with some decisions that I made. Maybe we'll get into that in the future, but I ain't getting into that today. But some decisions, and I was kind of coming to that understanding on my own, but that situation kind of brought it really, really to light. Like, stop dibbling dabbling. Stop going here and there. Find your place, stick with it. And if there's something that you need, that you feel you're missing, then create that thing within your decision, within the road that you're on. If you're missing something, then fill in that space. You find somebody that can, within, on that same road, not on the next road, because that's what I've done in the past. I'm like, look, I ain't getting what I want, I'm going over here. Not getting what I want, I'm going over there. But I'm going to get what I need. I'm going to get some of this, some of that, and some of this. And I learned in my initiation, I learned the disadvantages of doing that, but I kind of ignored it. So I guess I didn't learn it. But it's okay because that's life. Life is a journey, and journey is like, you learn things, you don't learn things, you kind of learn them, then you forget, and then you're like, oh, you get reminded. So I was kind of reminded of the disadvantages of doing that. So I'm trying to be a little bit more obedient to my ancestors and the plans that they have for me in my life, as well as be able to make up my own choice of what I want for my life, because that's important too. Anyway, so if you haven't already known, yes, I practice traditional spiritual practices. So I will be talking about ancestors. I will be talking about divinities and deities and all that other stuff. So that's my walk. That might not be your walk, but you may be able to identify with some of the things that I talk about, because they really are universal. And everybody has ancestors, whether you recognize them or not. An ancestor is just a person within your bloodline who come before you. So if your mom and your dad who birthed you are no longer in this physical realm, then they're part of your ancestry. If your grandparents are no longer in this physical realm, they are part of your ancestry. They're the people who came before you who have transed on. Who have, not, did I say transed on? Not transed on. Who have moved on from this physical realm into the next realm. Okay, so whether you think that after birth they go to after death they go to heaven, whatever you think, they're no longer on this physical earth. They have made their transition. They have died. They have passed on. Whatever you want to say, those are your ancestors. So I ancestral reverence is what I do. I revere my ancestors. So we're going to be talking about all of those things, but we're going to be talking about how we can utilize everything to self-growth. So I've been going through this growing period, and now I've come to a crux in my life where it's like, okay, gotta make up your mind which road you're gonna walk. Which road you're gonna walk. And as soon as I think, I'm like, yes, I'm doing this. I'm like, but wait, but I really want to do this, but that doesn't work. They're like, that's not gonna work. Consult my ancestors, you can do that. That'll be a very good choice for you. That ain't gonna work if you do it together with this. But I really want to do this. Well, you can do that. That'd be a very good choice to you. But I ain't going to work together with this. I said, but I want to do this, so you could do that too. This and this kind of works a little better together, but you can't do all of them. You got to make a choice. And I be wanting to hold on to everything. So I had to find a way to hold on to certain aspects of the communities that I belong to without doing something that's going to be detrimental to myself, because energetically they won't match. And some of you might not know what I'm talking about, but it's okay. I practice several traditional spiritual practices, and you just got to make a choice. You can't mesh certain things together. So I just at the point where I'm like, okay, this is happening now. This is happening. This is available. This is available. This is available. What you gonna do? You got to make up your mind. You got to make a choice. So I've come to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So, and then as soon as I really, really made up my mind, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to work it, other things started to fall in line too. Because I'm like, now I see this video by this sister, Arlen Hamilton. Check out her page, by the way. It's really good. Talks about, growth, financial growth, but it's still growth nonetheless. And how you can grow yourself and grow your network and all that good stuff. Oh, this battery is going to die. I hope it doesn't. Okay, good. Anyway, that channel was all about growth, and this channel was all about growth. That channel focuses specifically on financial growth and business and connections and how to do all of that stuff to grow yourself monetarily. And that's part of what I want to do too. I do want to grow myself monetarily, but I also want to grow my personal development aspect. I want to grow spiritually. I want to grow energetically. I want to grow in my relationships with the different aspects of the communities that I surround myself with. So how do I keep all of my communities? How do I keep good relations with those communities without bringing controversy with the different energies that these different communities come with? So within my life, because they don't necessarily mesh together. You can keep the community, but you don't have to follow the spiritual practices that come with that community. But you can keep the community. So that was my challenge, because I'm like, the more the merrier, the more communities the merrier. And there's nothing wrong with having many communities, but you still have to choose a road. You deal with that community within the aspect of these traditions. You deal with life within the aspect of these traditions, and you have to choose. You have to pick one. So that was one of my lessons that I recently was exposed to this year. I would say last year going into this year. And yeah, it wasn't a hard lesson. It was emotional at first, and then I kind of got over it quickly, because I've been working on myself and not holding on to expectations of what things are supposed to be and what's supposed to happen. And I've been learning how to just, let things be and just like accept it and like, okay, figure out what I'm going to do. What's the lesson here that's, making it so challenging, and then move on. So, and that's what I was able to do. And I was able to do it very well. So I'm proud of myself for that. I hold on to things. I tend to hold on to things a little too long and a little too heavy. So I was able to just roll with the punches, I guess you can say. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm proud of me. Yay. Pat myself on the back. Anyway, but still more lessons to learn. I gotta make a choice. So I've made my choices. And as soon as I did, other things started to fall in line. Then I'm seeing something that's saying, hey, this is what your channel could be about. Make your first video. I'm making my first video telling you what this channel was going to be about. And I hope you come and join me, because we're going to learn together. We're going to grow together, because that's what this channel is about. Growth, all aspects of your life, and how to use everything that's happening out there that I'm going to bring to you, whether it be current events, whether it be past events, whether it be spiritual teachings, whether it be an interview with someone, whether it be something I've learned or something I experienced, using your experiences and using my experience to personally grow ourselves together in all aspects of our life. Okay? So one of the things I'm going to be growing with you with is getting this studio, because this is my soaping studio and it is a mess together. I got to get rid of stuff still. I still got stuff I used to do childcare. I still have stuff from childcare in here. I have things in the corner. Ugh. It's actually better than it used to be, so that's pretty good. I have soap on the counter that needs to go in the garbage. It's bad. I'll probably just rebatch the soap and just use it for my personal use. Yeah, I got organizing to make. I just got some, let me see if I can show you this. These are like cubes that I can put in here. So like you can see that blue one over there. I can put stuff in it so the stuff on the shelf can look a little more organized. So I'm organizing every aspect of my life, and that is growth too. Being able to organize and keep things in its place and in order. Everything has a place and everything has an order. So being able to organize my space, organize my thoughts, organize my my business studio, organize all aspects of my life. Anyway, it's really late. It's really, really late. Well, not really, really late. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, right now. What time is it? Yeah, it's 2:17 in the morning. And I'm a night person. I need to learn how to get some sleep. But I'm a night person. I am up at night. So I was like, well, if you're going to be up at night, at least be up at night doing something constructive. So I'm making my first video. Woohoo. Alrighty, so I'm going to go. But I invite you to come back. I will be choosing days to upload videos that are going to be pre-recorded, and I'm going to be choosing days where I'm going to go live, whether you're with me or not. Because in the beginning, it probably won't be too many people, but I'm hoping that after a while, people will be showing up, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? This is what we're talking about today. Okay, we'll be doing Q&As. We're going to have lives. We're going to have some pre-recorded videos, and we're going to grow together. So, as you can see, that says the Bajan Bama. I'm Brooklyn-born Bajan Bama. So I am descending on my mother's side. I'm an immigrant, second-generation immigrant on my mother's side, because my grandparents immigrated here. They came through Ellis Island, and they were missionaries. They helped to build the church in Nazarene, which used to stand on Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And on my father's side, I am what they call ADOS and FBA. If you don't know what that is, ADOS is African Descendants of Slaves, and FBA is Fundamental Black American. Fundamental Black Americans are the people who say, yes, I've been here before slavery. My family line with lineage was here, and we went through the enslavement process together because they enslaved all of us, even if we were here before slavery. And ADOS is saying, of course, what it says, African Descendants of Slaves. So on my father's side, we're both. We're FBAs and ADOS. We're ADOS on my father's side, and we're FBA on my father's mother's side. So I'm all mixed up. I'm a second descendant immigrant on my maternal side, and I'm ADOS and FBA on my paternal side. So I'm going to be bringing all of that to you, all of who I am to you, and we are going to grow together. So this page says the Brooklyn, Bajan, Bama, because I was born in Brooklyn, and this show comes from out of Brooklyn, and Bajan because they immigrated here from Barbados. So we are Bajans or Barbadians, and you hear me? And my auntie, she's since passed, but my aunt Esther, she never lost her accent. She had an accent from the day she was born till the day she passed. So, God rest her. I don't have an accent. I never had an accent. My mother, as a child, had an accent, but they gave her speech classes, and then she learned to speak without it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So Brooklyn born because I was born in Brooklyn. Bajan because my mother side is from Bajan, and Bama because my father side is from Alabama. So our lineage is out in Alabama. Through via Virginia, but most of our family, they settled in Alabama. Yeah, that's where we were taken to when we were captured. Stolen and captured and snatched away and taken to Alabama. And so we can trace our lineage, most of them back there. But we can go back even further to Virginia too. That's as far back as our family line was able to take it. We couldn't find it any further. Although I did do the African ancestry test. We can talk about that too. I think I talked about that on one of my videos. It might be on my other channel, Kamishra's Corner. Anyway, that's all about soaping and skin stuff. None of the gross stuff will really be there unless it pertains to skin. But some of that will probably come here too. But only as it pertains to growth and, personal growth. Yeah, now I'm just babbling. Thank you for joining me. Do subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so that every time I upload a new video, we can grow together. You won't miss that message. We'll be growing together. Share this video. Save it in a playlist so, you can easily find it again. All that good stuff. Thank you. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening again, wherever you are in the world. Who am I? I'm the Brooklyn-born Bajan Bama. And I am coming to you with this page that is all about growth. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time. Bye.